This is a short video where we talk about how do we groom a team over a longer period of time. As team leaders, as supervisors and managers, we are busy on a daily basis fighting fires to ensure that things go according to plan so that we can achieve our daily targets and towards the end of the year achieve our KPIs come year in. And what occasionally does happen is we do not focus on developing a team into the kind of team that we want them to be because we're so busy in our daily tasks. So as a team leader, as a supervisor, as a manager, one of the things that we want is to develop the team into the ideal team that I want over a long period of time, a year's time, 2 years' time. So you have a current team now, and as a team leader, I'm sure you have an idea of what is the characteristics that you want to develop in your team so that they become a certain type of team, a certain team that has a certain characteristic. So, for example, if you want a team that's very united, that's very that's a very team player, that's a very cohesive, that's supporting each other. If that's the kind of characteristic you want in your team, that's step number one. You identify what kind of ideal team that you want. The next step is identify what are the specific behaviors that they would have to practice to show this kind of one team, supportive, cohesive, and united. So identify the characteristics followed by what are the specific behaviors. So for example, if it's one team, a team that's cohesive, united, have each other's back, then the specific behaviors could be, for example, when they stay back to help each other's out, when they lend a hand, when they are not calculative and it comes to, I doing less work, you doing more work, etc., whatever it is. When you see them actually exercising certain behaviors, is supportive of this one team concept and characteristic that you want for your team. That's where you highlight it and you acknowledge that particular behavior and you praise those behaviors. So for example, if Ahmad stays back yesterday to help out the team, and you know that Ahmad actually has finished his work, but he stayed back just to help out the team. And that's where you can highlight and say, hey, during a meeting, Ahmad, I just want to say thank you so much for staying back yesterday. It was very kind of you and wonderful of you for staying back. I know for a fact that you finished your work, but you are willing to stay back to help out the team. So I appreciate it. I'm sure on behalf of the team, everyone appreciates that. Thank you so much, Ahmad. So you highlight that and you acknowledge that and you praise that. So what happens is the next behavior that comes that is supportive of this characteristic. For example, someone who's willing to help someone out, although he has already surpassed his target, for example, yet he's willing to help tutor someone to help someone else achieve their target. So that's where you highlight that, and again you acknowledge their actions and then you praise that. So once you start highlighting and acknowledging those specific behaviors that support the bigger goal or characteristic that you want for a team, what happens is in the minds of the team members, they realize that, oh, these are the behaviors that management appreciates. These are the behaviors that they want us to practice. And they start to gravitate towards those behaviors. They start to exercise or put their energies towards these kind of behaviors. And when that happens, and it happens on a regular basis, then it becomes a norm. When it becomes a norm, then it becomes a culture within a team. And then now your team has achieved a status of being a one team, a united team, a team that's very supportive of each other. Now, it could be a one team, it could be maybe you want the team to be very dynamic and always chasing new targets. That could be a characteristic that you want for a team. But as a team leader, you've got to identify, on the longer term, what kind of characteristic do I want to develop my team? And then what are the behaviors that I want to see? And once you identify these behaviors is being actually exercised or used by the team members, you acknowledge, you highlight, you acknowledge, and you praise so that they know these are important things that they would then focus on and they would do a little bit more. And when they start making it a norm and it becomes a culture, that's where now your team has slowly developed. And as a result of that, it's all because of your grooming, of your foresight. You were able to identify the characteristic that you want in your team, and you actually put in all these measures, plus your experience and your ability to highlight and acknowledge and slowly groom the team towards this particular characteristic. So as team leaders, yes, we have a responsibility of ensuring that on a daily basis, we achieve whatever targets we have, but at the same time, as a team leader, you would also want to develop and groom your team into a particular kind of team that in your eyes would be a perfect ideal team. So identify that, identify what is specific behaviors, start highlighting and acknowledging and praising those behaviors in front of all the team members so that they know these are behaviors that management appreciates. And that's where you slowly will be able to groom and develop them into this particular ideal team. Okay, so that's just a quick recap on what we studied in the training program, but on a specific topic of how to develop a team and develop a team into an ideal team as far as your objective is concerned. Okay, great. Thank you. And we'll meet up on the next video. Bye.